Hello from Calgary International Airport. My name is Alex, and welcome to another trip report. In today's video, I'll be flying on board one of WestJet's Boeing 737-600 aircraft from Calgary to Abbotsford in their premium cabin. WestJet's premium cabin on their 737 family consists of 3 rows in a 2-2 configuration and was formerly known as WestJet Plus. In the domestic terminal in Calgary, WestJet has a priority check-in desk for passengers in premium, business, or those with WestJet Rewards status. Since I didn't have any checked baggage on this trip, it was easier to go to a self-serve kiosk. WestJet's transformation of Plus to Premium is an important part of their rebranding last year, and their growth plan to bring more connecting traffic through their main hubs in Calgary, Toronto, and Vancouver. Anyone booking a premium or business class fare with WestJet to Europe on a connecting itinerary also receives a seat in premium on board the shorter flight, whether it be a 737 or smaller. Now, while premium on the Q400s and Saab 340s isn't all that different from regular economy, the 737s are a different story. So, having flown their Dreamliner in business long haul, thanks again to WestJet for that, I'm curious to see what they'll have to offer upfront on this 1-hour flight. It's also worth mentioning you don't receive any lounge access with a premium ticket. Complimentary lounge access with WestJet is only offered to guests flying in business on the Dreamliner or Silver, Gold, and Platinum WestJet Rewards members. For today's flight, I'm flying on Charlie Golf X-Ray Whiskey Juliet, a 13-year-old Boeing 737-600. This aircraft was delivered new to WestJet in 2006 and has flown with them since then. Only 69 737-600s were built, and WestJet is the largest commercial operator in the world today, with 13 aircraft. The 600 may be pretty rare in other parts of the world, but there's no shortage of them here in Calgary. Even before my aircraft showed up, 2 others were departing one after the other. So, without further ado, as if I haven't been going on for 2 whole minutes already, let's see what WestJet's 737-600 premium class is like. On most of their 737 aircraft, WestJet's premium seats are economy seats in a Euro business setup with the middle seat blocked. However, they are in the process of refitting these with proper recliner-style seats in a 2-2 configuration, and let me tell you, those look really nice. Unfortunately, the MAX situation has slowed down the installation of these new seats by quite a bit, but most of the 737-800s, as well as one 600 I believe, do have them. I picked seat 1F for today's flight to Abbotsford, which was a bulkhead, so the legroom is a bit restrictive as you would expect, but it's still pretty good. In hindsight, I wouldn't recommend row 1 for tall people like me, but because the 600 is so short, it is probably the only seat where you can get a proper engine view. Waiting at each seat is a water bottle, as well as this very nice looking menu. It's also printed in English and French, and is surprisingly detailed for such a short flight.
Let me double check it with the flight attendant. Yeah, it should be okay if we're just changing.
The seats might be a bit dated, but they still have adjustable headrests as well. Shortly after sitting down, the very friendly cabin crew member serving premium introduced themselves and asked what I'd like for a post-departure drink.
Our flight crew today is Captain Kevin, First Officer Jeremy. My name is Carly, and I have the pleasure of working with JP, who's at row 4. He's our token handsome male flight attendant. Up front here is the beautiful Hannah. Your safety is important to us, and we ask for your attention as we review the following safety information. There's a safety...
That lighthearted safety briefing later, here's our departure from Calgary, making a speedy takeoff from runway 35 left. On this 737-600, WestJet has their standard safety card, your sickness bag, a pamphlet on the WestJet MasterCard, and the WestJet magazine. This particular aircraft also has WestJet's old live TV system, which doesn't seem to be working today. They've removed these on the rest of the 737 fleet in favor of streaming-based entertainment, and most of the 737-600s are the only aircraft left with it. It's a beautiful summer day for flying, and with that comes the usual stunning views of the Rocky Mountains. Shortly after takeoff, hot towels were handed out, which was pleasantly surprising. That was followed by this smart-looking wax placemat, a clever solution to keep stuff from sliding around, and the snack for today's flight. I opted for a glass of Coke, which came with a Biscoff cookie, cutlery, and this tray. The snack tray itself consisted of a pad thai salad, apple cheesecake, and caprese salad. Anyone who knows me knows that I'm the furthest thing from a food critic, so I will just say that this was really tasty. Even this small cheesecake ended up being a great dessert. Although Euro business seats obviously aren't ideal for WestJet's future growth, I do have to say these cup holders are pretty useful. This was a fairly last-minute trip I made in August to fly on that Air Tindy-7 charter, so when I went to book with WestJet, premium was only about $40 more than economy. Now that kind of price difference doesn't happen often, but when it does, I can confidently say it is worth acting on. Landing in Abbotsford lends itself to some beautiful views of the Fraser Valley, so please enjoy this wing view as we arrive on runway 07. Overall, I really enjoyed this short flight with WestJet in premium. I went in expecting a free drink and maybe a small snack, but I was actually pleasantly surprised. There were a lot of little details that really stood out, like metal cutlery, proper bowls and glasses, and even the placemat with WestJet Deltas on it. The hot towel was a great touch too, and I'm overall just really impressed with what WestJet was able to offer for just an hour hop across the mountains. Honestly, kudos to the cabin crew for being able to serve all 3 rows in time. Like I said earlier, the seats are obviously out of date, as is the non-functional live TV, but as soon as the whole fleet gets those new seats, WestJet's premium cabin is, and will be, a very solid experience. So, while the seats are a bit lacking for now, it is nice to see that the service and hospitality on board is definitely up to par with WestJet's excellent standards. That concludes this trip report with WestJet's Boeing 737-600. As always, thank you very much for watching this video. Please leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you next time.